Hey, K-Dog here, and today I want to show you how to install that GPS docking station that I picked up from Sling Mods. Gives me more power, 2 more USB ports, a 12-volt charger, another RAM ball mount, additional mounts if I need to use those. That is going to replace this monstrosity that I had basically just gripping my bar, shaking all over the place. I apologize. I am having to record this on my phone. I just found out at the last minute my GoPro isn't working for some reason. I have no idea why. Maybe it's time to get that Insta360 X3. I don't know. Anyway, I got something from Sling Mods in the mail last week, and I haven't put it on yet. So I thought I would try to put that on myself, and I thought I would show you, try to video some of it and show you what I think it takes to get it mounted. This is the 12 volt cell phone GPS docking station with dual USB charge ports. Let me get it out of the bag so that you can see it. All right, here's what it looks like. I've got 2 USB ports on the left side, and then I've got a 12 volt kind of a car cigarette lighter charger on the right side. And there's multiple RAM ball mounts where I can mount the RAM ball. I ordered the kit that just has a RAM ball and the extra mount point right here because I don't need any other kind of phone holder. Other parts it comes with. This is the Y adapter that's going to go into the auxiliary port on the bike, allow us to tap into that. Comes with some extra ties to tie the cable down once you got everything in. I don't remember what this is. We'll look at the directions. It might be a polarity flipper, but we will find out. And then these are the 2 bolt replacements. We only replaced 2 of the 4 bolts where the handlebars mount. We replaced 2 with longer bolts, and the bolts end up going through this thing. So I will show you that. It does come with directions as well. I may need those, I may not. We'll see. And then the tools I think I'll need are a T30 Torx for some of the Torx screws I got to take out. A 7mm and maybe an 8mm Allen, and then I've got a kit for the plug pullers. You can just do it with a screwdriver, but I'll try this kit I bought. I did also grab a torque wrench in case I decide I want to torque down those new bolts. And then let me show you where this is going to mount. This is going to end up mounting right up there. It's going to be perfect. I'm going to take this contraption off that I've had my phone mounted on. People were telling me in the videos I've been doing how bad my phone's shaking. I'm just going to take all this off, and I'll end up mounting it probably up here. So, all right, let me take this stuff off and let me try to get the bike ready, and I'll start showing you step by step how to take all of the side panels off so I can get to the auxiliary port, which is right about there. Okay, the instructions look pretty good. I'll try to follow them, except the instructions I got start off with mounting the docking station head bolts and then running the wire down and then taking all the covers off to get to the auxiliary port. I'm going to actually do it a little bit different. I'm going to take off all the side stuff first so I know I don't have any issues getting to the port and getting all this stuff off. I've never taken those sides off the bike before, and I'm admittedly just a little bit nervous to do it, so I'm going to do that first. All right, I think the first thing I need to do is remove this side cover. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and raise the seat, and I'll go ahead and raise the frunk as well just to get it done. But I'm going to try to figure out how to not be nervous and take that piece off. All right, raise the seat. I also raised the frunk. Here in a minute, I'll end up taking these push pins out on the front. But first, I'm going to focus on getting my hands in here and taking this side piece off. I'm just reaching my hand in there right now, and and there it goes. It just came right off. Wow, that was easier than I thought. All right, set this somewhere out of the way where I'm not going to step on it. Put it right there. And now we'll see what's next. All right, so now I'm going to remove this piece so that I can then get to, I think, all 3 Torx bolts that will allow me to take that big piece off. So, trying to do this with one hand. This says pull. I'm going to get my hand under there and just try pulling a little bit. Oh, that makes me nervous. Okay, there it's popping off. I'm just trying to work my hand under there and find the pieces, find where it's attached. All right, there's that off. Let me set this aside. I'm trying to remember, of course, the order I do this in too, so I can do it in opposite order. So, okay, what's next? All right, next I've got to remove these 3 Torx bolts. 1, 2, 3. And once those are off, I will then end up removing those push pins up there, and I'll then be able to take this off, and that'll allow me to get to the auxiliary port down underneath there. So let me take these Torx screws out. All right, I've got those 3 Torx screws out. So now I'm going to take the push pins out real quick that are right there. And the way I'm taking these push pins out is I pop the pin up like that, and then I just put my tool under the whole thing and just pop the whole thing out. So I'll do that for the other 2 as well. Now that the Torx screws are out, those front push pins are out, now this piece, I'm supposed to pull it away and then push it forward a little bit, and it pops out. I don't know how I'm going to do this I don't know how I'm going to show you with just one hand, but so I'm pulling it away. I'm trying to be nice about it. So it's popping away. I'm wondering if those have to come out for me to pop this forward. I don't think so. Let me just work this a little bit more. There we go. The whole thing just popped out. Let me push it forward a little bit with one hand. And there we go. There we go. Sorry for the video there, but I just pulled out and then I pushed it forward and it popped right out for me. So set that down, and now I got to look in here and figure out where my auxiliary port is. It should be right there. So let's figure out what I need to do next. Okay, next I'll go ahead and take these top 2 bolts out, and I'll actually mount the docking station, and then I'll run the wire down, so the wire will end up showing down here where I'll attach it to the auxiliary port. So let's see how tight these are. Again, I'm trying to do this with one hand. That one's loose. That one's loose. Let me loosen the other one. There we go. All right, I won't show you the rest of this. I'll take these bolts out, and I'm supposed to save the washers off of those to put on the new longer bolts. And just to show you, here's the old bolt with the washer. I'll save that washer. The old bolts have the yellow Loctite, but when I put them back on per the instructions, I'll end up using some blue Loctite that I've got. So let me get both these bolts out real quick. Okay, just the top bolts are out. This is gonna mount like this with the spacers. What I'm gonna do though, before I mount this, I'm gonna go through the effort of running this wire down along the steering column down here. I wanna run the wire first so that I can move the docking station around a little bit if I feel like I need to get the wire down there. So again, I wish I could show you because I've only got one hand to do each, but let me run that first and then I'll come back to you. And that was actually super easy. I just stuck it down there. It ran right through real easy. I thought it would get caught up on something and be a lot harder, but it didn't. So now that I know this is down here where I need it, now I'll go ahead and mount the new bolts with the spacers up here. And to just show you the difference here in the size, the small ones with the yellow Loctite, that's the original bolt, and then this is the new bolt with the spacer. I'll take the washer off the old one and put it on the new one. I'll put some Loctite, some blue Loctite down here, and then I will mount that. All right, there's the spacer. There's my new longer bolt with some blue Loctite on it. I'm just gonna run the bolt through and through the spacer and hand tighten both of them. All right, they're hand tightened. Now I'll tighten them up. Notice the multiple ram ball mount locations, which is awesome. Or, you know, I can mount anything I want there, really. Cables down here waiting for me, right here. So let me tighten up those head bolts. I'll call them head bolts. And then we'll be done up there and we'll finish up actually hooking it up down here, and then we'll test the power. Oh, and just a reminder, the new bolts are 8mm and the old ones are 7. So be sure you have a 7 and an 8, it looks like. Okay, all done up top. It's gonna look just fine. Funny, the whole part was really easy except when I was putting the actual ram ball mount on, I dropped it and it actually came apart and the ball part of the head there rolled clear out into the driveway and I had to find it. Other than that, it was a piece of cake. Now let me look at what we do to actually plug into the auxiliary port. So we'll do that next. Okay, what's gonna happen here is we're gonna unplug this accessory cable. This end of the Y adapter is gonna plug in its place. The original is going to plug in to this end of the Y adapter, and then finally the small end here is going to plug into our new cable for our docking station. So let me put a little bit of dielectric gel on each of these, and then I will hook all of that up and then we'll test it. Now, one note, I'm going to do it exactly as I just said. The instructions say that sometimes on the Can-Am, the polarity is reversed. So I'm gonna try it and see if it all works. And if it doesn't, I will use, they've got a reverse polarity cable that they provided that I can plug in. So we'll try it without using it and see if everything works. All right, I got it all wired up. The new part of the Y. And this is the original auxiliary. And then this is where our cable comes in, but when I start it, I'm not getting any lights. So I wonder if the polarity is reversed, and I'm going to try putting that extra cable in and see if that fixes it. Okay, you can see I use the reverse polarity cable between the Y adapter and the cable that goes up to our docking station. So let's see if that takes care of the problem. And it does. Woohoo! We got 2 more USB ports. We've got a cigarette lighter charger port. We've got A new ram ball. We've got additional ports for additional ram balls if I need them. Awesome, awesome. Oh, just to show you where I tied the wires off, I just put a tie right here and a tie right here just to kind of hold it in place. This I just left as is. Okay, now I'm going to put this big piece back on. And if you remember when we took it off, we pulled out and then kind of pushed it forward. I can't really show you me doing this because I don't have, my GoPro's broken, so I'm just using my phone. I'm just going to have to do it and then kind of tell you afterwards what issues I had. But again, reverse order, I'm going to try to figure out where to put it in the front. I'll compare it to what the other side looks like so I've got a good reference. And then I'll just try to push it back into place and then into the little holder slots. So let me try that. Wish me luck. Okay, just trying to show you. I've worked it into place. It's really close, you can see. I'm gonna try to look down there. There's two kind of slots that it goes into. There's one of them. I'm gonna try to look down there and pop those in and then make sure all this pops in right where it needs to be right here. And then I'll check up here, push all of it in, and then should be ready to put the 3 screws back in. All right, looks like I've got it all pushed back in. You can see this is all flush. The screw spots look like they're right. Looks right in the front. Had to kind of slide it right. There's a notch right in here that it slid in. And if you compare that side with that side, it looks the same. So, oh, and one other thing is those 2 slots that are kind of underneath here, I just reached under and kind of pinched it together, and that's what popped it in those slots. So now let me put the torque screws on. Okay, torque screws are in. They had some old yellow Loctite on them. I don't have any yellow. I've got some red and some blue, and I didn't want to overdo it. So I did not re-Loctite them. That's really up to you. I tightened them pretty good, but I didn't want to tighten them too tight either. So maybe I'll check them again when I get some miles in and make sure I don't feel like I need to tighten them and put some Loctite on. Okay, so now the next piece, I kind of laid them down in order. So now I'm going to put this cover back on up there. I probably can't do it with one hand, so let me do that and then show you. And that was really straightforward. I just kind of lined up, 2 on the top and I think 1 or 2 on the bottom. I just lined them up and I just pushed, firmly along the top, and then right here and here, and it just popped into place. So that piece is now on, and let's put the final piece on, which will go here. Again, same thing. I'm just going to kind of line it up and then pop it into place. I wanted to call out on this piece. Notice there's some little curved lips right there. Be sure you kind of work them in to where they go in the front. Kind of angle it in and then pop the rest into place just to make sure you don't break those or something. And that's it. I just worked those lips in, pushed firmly all the way along. There's a number of little areas right along the edge of this. Just push all along and make sure that it pops in. And all that looks good. Now I just need to pop my pins in for this piece on the front. We should be about done. Keep the push pins out, push the bottom in, and then push the pin in. So I'll do that now. So it took me probably an hour, but that's because my GoPro quit. I had to start redoing the video. I dropped. The end of the ram ball came off and ran out in the driveway. It took me 10 minutes to find it. I dropped the washer, but the install itself is actually very straightforward.
And there you have it, folks. That is how I installed the 12-volt cell phone / GPS docking station with dual USB charge ports for the Can-Am Spyder RT 2020 and newer. I got it off of Sling Mods. I apologize for the video footage. My GoPro literally conked out on me right before I started doing that, and I still haven't gotten it fixed. That was yesterday, the day before. I'm hoping GoPro support can help me, otherwise it's time to maybe go to something else. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to send me some questions in the comment section. Would love to hear from you. Thank you as well. I have finally hit over 500 subscribers. I'm very happy about it, and I'm very appreciative as well. So thank you everyone very much. If you did find the video helpful, I would love a like. I would love you hitting that big subscribe button. That would really help me out and help others find the channel as well. That's it. Take care, and hey, ride safe.